Hello, this is the Art of Politics, and with me is a number of representatives. This is not Ken Gidge here, but Ken Gidge,
Hello.
representative from Nashua, is here with me. Ken?
How are you? And we'd like to let people know that this is a Republican and a Republican and a Republican, and I really apologize. It usually takes 4 to 5 Republicans to beat one Democrat up, but congratulations. I'm glad he doesn't care. This is Representative Baldasaro. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's always an honor to be
yes,
with you.
and by the way, congratulations.
Well,
married.
Thank you. Married. I'm a happily married man.
Yes, someone who's absolutely prettier than you. I can guarantee you that. And Representative Pam Tucker, who also is in the same committee as myself.
Yes, missed you since our last executive session. That was the marathon session of 20 bills.
He missed the bill?
That is correct. I was there.
Yes, I know, but I haven't seen you since until
20
yesterday.
bills.
20 bills in one day.
No, and
Ay, ay, ay.
people who do not understand how that works, that's a lot. They wouldn't even let us out of the room.
And that was just exacting the bills. It was absolutely crazy that we did 20, because that's when you really get down to the dirty of why we should or should not vote for a bill.
So they made him work then, is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, he did. He
Yeah.
did a great job, too.
We all work. Talking about working, Mr. O'Brien, you certainly worked yesterday up at the State House. You got yourself in a lot of trouble. They made you sit down, I believe, or asked you to sit down. They also had to get the parliamentary genius up to figure out what you were doing wrong. And
But by your presentation of this alternate reality, I gather you lost. So, good spin there, Ken. Will you just admit you lost?
Well, actually, the majority won, so we didn't lose.
Oh, actually, you won, but you lost.
No, we won.
Oh, was it he lost, but he won?
It was sort of an Al Gore day for them. They voted for it.
That's right. The Locksbach was closed and it was open.
They lost. What I know is that Governor Hassan called a special session to enact Obamacare and Medicaid expansion. The special session's over. And Ken, I want to hear you say it. Was it enacted or was it not enacted?
What?
Obamacare and Medicaid expansion.
Well, in the House of Representatives, we voted for it, yes.
Is it the law of New Hampshire?
And then it turns around, and what happened in the Senate, they voted it down.
Yes, 13 to 11.
13-11. So I absolutely guarantee you that those individuals who voted that down will be voted out.
Ken, you know,
they have to be voted out.
I think one of the things we ought to do is talk with the guests, but I want you to keep one figure in mind. Nationally, 7% of the people in a Gallup poll that was released 2 days ago support Obamacare. 7%. 93% wanted to go away.
And
so, Ken, that analysis isn't complete.
Well, they must have polled all of the Democrats in New Hampshire who were in the State House for that poll.
Yeah, they got those the ones that voted yesterday. That was 7%.
We also heard that how you Republicans were going out and finding the worst people who had the worst predicaments, and you had a little booklet of what to say, all your talking points, and so it's not as bad as everyone believes. But you guys, don't like Obama, hate Obamacare. You do not want people to have Medicaid here in the state of New Hampshire. By the way, it's 61% who are women who would get Medicaid. That means, Pam, there's 61% of ladies who will not get it, and Mr. Baldasaro. But that's okay. You guys are here now, and you'll be voted out later.
If I have a lot of money in the bank, but I'm retired, and I got a few dollars in the bank, not much, but a few, Do you know I would qualify for Medicaid expansion, and I own a beautiful home that's, pretty good value on it, and
Well,
Is
people
that
have
right?
to look at you and they'll know.
so I
that
could
you're-
take advantage. I'm driving around in a Cadillac Escalade, and I have Medicaid.
You must have
I
fixed
qualify.
names too.
Yeah, I could
You'd be a
qualify.
Cadillac dad, because all
Yeah.
we've had now is Cadillac moms on welfare.
That's right.
but
And that's
Ken-
your way, is to
Ken,
do
there
it.
was other alternative plans that were offered and that were rejected by the Senate. And of course, the House, as you know, wouldn't even hear them.
Such
The whole
as in the
Lewin
Senate, what
report
was it in the
that
Senate?
whole Lewin report came up that there is another way to do this. Do it like the Indiana plan. In fact, we even talked about that yesterday. We're about to talk about it on the House floor of looking at the Indiana plan, where it's actually like a health account that you give to the person.
Didn't you vote against that
And
amendment?
we never even got
Never
to that
came?
amendment. No, we pulled it by
Weren't you
then.
there yesterday?
Yeah, I have your votes here. Don't worry
That
about
was
it.
one
We'll
of the
get to that.
20-some amendments that was put forth
yeah.
that never made it to the.
Well, yes, I
debate.
guess we can all agree that yesterday was kind of a historic day. I mean, it
Yes.
really, really was something enormous.
Well, we avoided the biggest expansion of government in New Hampshire ever by not enacting that bill.
Wasn't that the Affordable Care Act? Oh, wait a minute, that has something to do with
No, it's-
Obama, so you guys hate it.
No, it was Obamacare Medicaid expansion, which would
Okay.
have been the biggest growth in government
Really?
in state history.
In the state, or would it have been in the federal government?
No, we're talking the
We're
state here.
talking
Let's
state.
stick with
The
New
state.
Hampshire.
If we're getting $800,000 a day, that
Oh,
costs us
that
a lot
money-
of
Is that money
money.
from China, that money that we would get, or is that from?
Borrowed.
Where'd that borrowed money come from?
Where's
That
it come from,
800
Ken?
million a day, or whatever you're talking about.
And wait, how do we
Where's
borrow
that
it?
money coming from?
How do we borrow it?
It's to the deficit.
How do we
Do you know what
borrow
the
it?
deficit, $17 trillion ring a bell?
Yes,
From
but
the
how
federal
do-
government?
Yeah, tell everybody how we borrow it.
No, not we, New Hampshire, but the money coming in from the federal government is, we have a deficit.
Ken is going to, Ken wants to like change the language.
Is that what
there.
it is?
And,
Oh.
and borrowing is
only
investment.
three to
Is that like
that's
Clinton?
Going
This will be
into
easy.
debt is a good thing. Taking your children and your grandchildren and yet their children and saying, pay for the government I can't afford
Oh,
today.
but wait a minute.
That's called an investment in the topsy-turvy world of
And we
liberals.
borrow money how, Mr. O'Brien?
We sign, like anybody else, a piece of paper that says it'll be paid back, except we're not paying it back, our children are.
And now
Their
who-
children
who-
are, and their children are.
So wait a minute. Do not the individuals from other countries get bonds from us? Don't they get securities from the United States? So wouldn't one say that it's pretty good when you have China, who believes so much in our economy that they will buy as many bonds and many securities as they can? But now that's a debt. All of a sudden, that's a debt that we owe.
Ken, I know,
You don't get it.
I know you don't believe this because all you have to do is look at the history of Greece and Argentina and apply your analysis to them. You could say, well, they're investing in Greece, they're investing in Argentina, until it all went to hell, until Argentina defaulted on its debt. Argentina used to be the 8th richest country in the world based on per capita income. It had a bunch of Ken Gidges running around saying, look at this, they're willing to invest in us. This is a good thing, until it defaulted and their unemployment became 40%. Is that what you want, Ken?
Well,
is that what you want for our
I
children?
think what you ought to do, Mr. O'Brien, is I think you ought to stay here in the United States. If you want to go to Greece or another place, go there. But let's stay right here in the United States. What happened and why we supposedly owe the money is because the money was given to us. Why? To invest in our country, the United States of America.
Then why?
Because people believe that this is a good country. So you guys say that we owe it.
Consumption isn't investment. You have to use economic terms if you're going to try to provide an economist's argument. Consumption is consumption. We're borrowing money for a lifestyle.
We're not borrowing money. Please make that clear. How do we don't go out and say, give us some money. What we do is we put bonds or securities up, and people buy that from other countries.
And pay
Ken,
interest just like
Do
you
the
do
people
when
in
you borrow
Nashua,
money.
will they believe this, what you're saying? because I know I'm glad I can't play this show in
it's
London.
I gotta
In
believe-
Londonderry,
but
the
it's-
voters understand.
but it's
They're
3 to
smart.
1.
Because you already get Saturday Night Live.
Is he saying this because we're? Are
in
you saying this
Londonderry,
because
so
we're in Nashua?
Saturday Night Live.
I'll try to explain it to you if you
Saturday
need a little
Night
more
Live
help.
is just too much of
Whoa.
a competition for this.
Is that what it is?
analysis.
Can I ask you something?
No, you may not, yes, yeah.
You know, for anyone, you know, you all know I sit behind Ken. And I whispered in Ken's ear yesterday on a vote.
You don't whisper.
Well.
This is your whispering
With a
voice,
voice
Al.
Okay,
like
this
that,
is my
it's not a
whispering voice.
whisper.
And I said, Ken, before the buzzer went off, Ken, you sure you want to vote on fining the people of New Hampshire if young people want to buy a car or a phone and they feel they don't want to buy insurance? And the governor said that we're going to have a Medicaid expansion, but yet they put in state exchange, and they'd be fined for not doing it, and you voted to fine the people?
Wait, I wouldn't bring up the insurance exchange.
That
But
was
that was
part
part
of the
of it.
bill.
You voted on it.
So quickly, because
You
you
voted.
guys are the ones who made it illegal
We
to
protected the
farm.
Protected the
taxpayers.
people.
To what?
Protected the people, so that they
You
weren't going to get.
protected the people?
Yes.
Really? And
gonna
here
pay
in
for the
Nashua,
exchange?
because we didn't, the state didn't have the ability, because you guys made it illegal, to form an insurance exchange. The insurance company went out and formed an exchange and took away one of our hospitals here in the city of Nashua.
Ken, the federal government formed it. It's the insurance company.
No,
did it.
no, no,
All
no,
the
no.
insurance
Funded it.
companies
Ken,
did-
take a drink of water,
They,
relax.
they, I'll
This
kick you,
really
I
isn't
swear to
fair,
God.
right?
I will kick you to the matter of
Take
time.
a drink.
I'll have a couple of minutes. No, it was you guys who got rid of the, and by the way, you said the federal government did this. No, the insurance company went and said, look, no one wants to form an exchange. We'll form the exchange. The government said, well, we really don't want to do it. We'd like New Hampshire to do it. So they let the insurance companies form it. Do you know that there's no hospital, they do not support a hospital in Concord? They've got rid of one hospital here
There's
in
about 10
Nashua.
they got rid
No,
of.
is that putting people out of work and out of
this,
business?
for those of us who know what's going on,
you say
listening to
Shane?
you is just amazing. But the danger is that there's folks who are listening to this that may think
Who may
that what you're
believe me.
saying has some connection with reality, and we know it doesn't. In fact, the federal government will form the exchanges under the Affordable Care
That's
Act
right.
if states don't. What happened was that this federal government forms the exchange, and then it goes to insurance companies. Said, anybody want to join it? In New Hampshire, because of Governor Shaheen adopting community standards, we went
remember that.
for rating for insurance companies. We went from about 17 companies competing for our medical insurance dollars to one company, Anthem. And that one company came and said, hey, I'll participate because you want to know what? You put together a great monopoly for me. And oh, by the way, rates are going up and providers like your hospital is being kicked out. Blame Governor Shaheen, blame President Obama,
no.
but don't blame
No.
us for not wanting to spend $100 million to put that fiasco in
Well,
place.
no, it was 30 million last time I talked to you. if I
100
remember
million
correctly.
was
And it's-
Vermont.
No, you said
30
well-
million is the estimate we had, and
do the
Vermont had
website.
an estimate of 18 million, and it's cost them $100 million to put this in place.
Let me ask you two, if there was an insurance exchange, which means the government would not, the government would not be running it, we would be running it, would you eliminate a hospital in your hometown? Would you eliminate a hospital from the second largest city
Did
in
you
the
ask
state of New
Governor
Hampshire?
Hassan that?
No, I'm asking you guys
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, we can answer that simple. I mean, no, we wouldn't, but we'd have no choice
Oh.
because there's only one company. You just
Yes.
explained to you.
No,
what Governor Shaheen did.
No, if we had the exchange and there was still only one company, we certainly could say, no, you're not going
Who's
to
paying
exclude
for that
Nashua.
Listen, here's the deal with the exchange.
That's right.
We could have signed on and had the state involved in it, but then who would have paid the cost when the federal government walked away from it? The state taxpayers would have been on the line for it, and we still would have had to live by all of the federal government's guidelines.
Okay, I keep forgetting that you
Oh, that's right,
guys
the federal government has all this money they're just
hate
gonna give
Obama
us.
so much
Nothing,
No.
nothing
that
against
he's
Obama.
definitely going to turn around and the federal government is not going to take care of
Which
its debt
policies of his
or
have
its
worked so
promise.
far?
Is that true?
Which
Are
of
you
his
saying the
policies
government
have worked
won't?
so
They,
well?
yeah, I know they won't. Look at No Child Left Behind. Look at the race to the top. Their unfunded mandate that your taxpayers are picking up the cost for the schools.
Wait a minute, No Child Left Behind was done by, I believe, George W.
Yes,
Bush.
you're right.
And
then Race to the Top was done by Obama.
And now you guys are
Common
saying
Core, unfunded.
Okay, unfunded, but mandates, we didn't have it, so it's unfunded, so now it comes, you guys passed the law. You're the Republicans who did this.
Now, I can tell you, I didn't support No Child
Oh,
Left Behind.
now he
No, I'm
doesn't
telling you
support
straight
it.
up, I didn't. Matter of fact, I was part of the bill to try to repeal it for the state. Matter of fact, we passed it, and it got tabled.
Then why would you bring it up as an argument right now?
Because we
Because
have
you
to
guys
understand,
tabled it, Ken.
you tabled it.
I did not.
We understand bad
did not.
policy. You guys only understand spending.
Right.
And if we're getting rid of a program, that means your constituent group, which are public employees being employed, are liable to be laid off. And that's what it comes down. It doesn't come down to what's good for children. It doesn't come down to what's good for taxpayers. It comes down to what's good with your constituent groups, which is public employees. You
guys can talk about this all the time, and you will, and I will let you continue what you're going to say. You guys can talk about this all the time, but the fact of the matter is that there are over 50,000 people right now who do not have insurance. 61% of them are women, and you guys voted that down. You did not want that to take place because you always say it's Obamacare. You hate it so much that you guys would let this take place
Ken,
for the people here in the state of New Hampshire.
I know Al has a real valuable perspective on this, and I'd like to turn to him on it, but get your facts straight. It's not 50,000 people that don't have insurance. 33,000 of them have insurance now. What's going to happen is, with Obamacare, they're going to lose their insurance. The net gain of people with coverage, if we had adopted the bill yesterday, was 22,000. And by trying to help out those 22,000, by the way, who have access to medical care through the state health insurance payment program, now would be taking 33,000, taking them off of private insurance, which is good, and putting them in a program that only pays 40% of the cost.
So you're saying that New Hampshire already takes care of these people, is that correct?
Absolutely.
We're saying, yeah,
Absolutely.
they already
So that's
have
correct.
insurance.
So having $800,000 come in and insuring more people is bad?
And so your argument
Well,
is that
My argument is,
It's not that
we
it's
should
bad.
have a program because it spends money.
please tell me what my argument is.
You're right. It's not that it's bad. Should we be taking people and put them into the state-run pool when they already have insurance? Why? It makes no sense.
Well,
you guys use the argument about the veterans. Oh, the veterans, the world's falling on veterans. If there's a veteran out there and he don't have insurance, he walks into the VA hospital with his DD-214 and he gets medical care at the VA. So that argument didn't work with me yesterday.
Don't look at
No,
me.
your party.
Don't look at me.
You
No.
constantly use us veterans as political pawns. Now, if you want to get, I was going to go to the floor and tear you up on it because do you know what Champ VA is?
No.
That's what I thought. See, you Democrats don't know. What I'm trying to say is you brought up all these different people need, and they're really not in need. A lot of them people are young people too that are buying cars, got cell phones, got houses, that feel like they're young and they don't want insurance. Am I right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to force them, then you're going to fine them if they don't get insurance.
$100 a year I don't think is such a big deal. Either that, they walk in, into the hospitals
Well,
right
they're not
now
all as rich as you
with
are.
no insurance, and they you and I, of course, pay for this, and I believe Mr. O'Brien has brought it to my attention that people who walk in get better care than people who have Medicaid. How's that? Now, well, let me finish. And the reason is because the hospitals are paid more by the state of New Hampshire, those who do not have insurance and walk through the door without insurance. Isn't that correct?
Using the Medicaid enhancement tax, which is going to go away as Obamacare is implemented. You know, one of the things that really amazed me, I want to return to a point you're making, Ken. You're acknowledging that it's going to be necessary to borrow money from foreign sources in order to
I did not say that.
Where are we going to get? Where are we going to get that 40 cents out of every dollar
Hold on.
that now we're borrowing?
Excuse me. Didn't we have didn't we have a lot of money in the bank until who came along? A Republican? And
No.
Can you define a lot of money in the bank? What does that mean, so I understand?
no
You
deficit?
talking a surplus?
with
Where was there no
Clinton.
deficit? Well, didn't Clinton have a majority in a House Republican in the Senate that stopped his spending spree?
No.
Yes,
No,
he did.
I guess he did.
No.
Yes, he did.
No,
It
it didn't
was,
stop
it was
the spending.
Republican
Yes, he
budgets
did,
in the
yep.
Congress.
Well, I know, you
did it.
guys.
They stopped them.
They were good for about
Just
5
like-
minutes, and then they got
Just
they got
like
their own
right now,
president, and now look what
did
happened.
you vote for the governor's budget? All the spending?
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think so.
You didn't? I'm shocked. Well, if you look at the governor's budget was kicked out, the Democrats used your
I wouldn't
Can you
vote for
say it?
anybody,
Read
I don't
my
vote for
lips.
any budget, but.
The Democrats voted for the O'Brien budget just recently. Am I right?
What?
Am I confusing
Am-
them?
am
Two
we
weeks-
in the
2 weeks
twilight
before
land?
we-
Am
Hold
I,
on.
am I confusing them?
Hold on a
this
second.
makes sense.
Wait a minute, let me, yeah, all right, go ahead.
Two weeks before we as the House passed the budget, because that's where it all starts, 2 weeks before that, we had Governor Hassan out there screaming and yelling, "This is a terrible budget," stomping her feet. 2 weeks later, after we passed the budget, which took out all of those tax increases that were put in by the Democrats, thankfully we have a Republican Senate that took them all out. She's up there preening about how wonderful this budget is. Doesn't include her $80 million worth of gambling, doesn't include one of those taxes, and she's taking credit for a budget that was started in 2010 under Speaker O'Brien.
I mean, much as I didn't want to, I was compelled to get up and thank the House for passing my budget again. You know, it pained me to do it,
Did
but
you
I
vote for
wanted,
that?
Well,
I wanted to honestly present the facts
And
there.
ladies and gentlemen, what this gentleman over here is saying is that they did such a great job for the 2 years, such a great job, with a majority of 297 to 103, and I was one of 103. And then what happened? You guys lost the majority. Obviously, a lot of what you're saying sounds correct, and even might be a little correct. But the voters saw you guys
Which
and
voters?
said,
The ones who
"Whoa,
lived in New Hampshire or domiciled here?
Well, okay,
Yeah, which
now
voters?
we've got people coming in. I mean, this is a typical,
How many same-day registrations do you have in Nashua?
a lot.
What's a lot? Help me
What's the
out here. What are the
percentage?
numbers?
I don't know.
I know in my
think
town,
800,
Londonderry,
was
there
a
was
lot,
maybe about
it was a lot.
Did any
1,700, I don't
representatives
know,
have people who
1,200
weren't
to
related
1,700, I don't remember.
domiciled at their house in New Hampshire, like we did in Portsmouth, even though I don't live in Portsmouth?
Oh,
It's
and
my
like
hometown.
Romney did, of course, had his people up here too. I mean, this was brought to my attention to bring this up if we ever have a conversation about it, because it went both
Talking
Can we
ways.
talk about
points, huh?
Martha
It
Fuller Clark
went
and those four
both-
unrelated people?
It went both
Really?
ways,
I-
both parties did
Are
it.
you
Mr.
telling-
O'Brien, are you trying to tell me, right there, he's sitting there just smiling, knowing, he thinks I'm getting beat up, I'm not. But you're just smiling. Are you telling me
I'm telling you, I didn't
Are you
have
telling
any
me
domiciled people
that-
in my
that
house as a
Republicans
representative?
There was
didn't
none in
do
my
that?
house.
I think the people of New Hampshire know that the Democrats are importing people from other states,
Oh,
and that's their
pretty
margin
obvious.
of vision.
So
It's obvious.
Your answer,
I get amused.
So your answer is no,
I
Republicans
get amused.
didn't do that at all.
I get amused by
Ken, you
this
have
whole thing.
Democrat talking points here.
We all know what you're up to. You don't want voter ID because if you have to ID voters, you're going to find the California and Massachusetts
No,
voters.
I don't think that's,
you know?
no, I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason we don't want voter ID is because it's interesting how the Republicans use it to stop people from voting, period.
Absolutely not.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
No, we
Stopping
defend the
the
Constitution.
times that people can vote in other parts of the country.
Absolutely not.
Low-income people are going
Those
to
are
be
the people-
taken out.
No,
And you
Ken,
guys-
those are
Ken,
the people we
Ken,
wanna
it's so
protect.
it's so silly. Someone shows up and we give them a free
An affidavit.
license. I mean, we give them a free photo ID.
That's right.
What is the cost? What is the cost to getting something for
Okay,
free?
que-
So you
que-
say low-income
que-
people?
quest-
We give it to them for free.
What-
What
quest-
what it is that if the Democrat voters who live with Martha Fuller Clark or live with your representative Mangiacuti here show up and they have to show their, in her case, the Massachusetts license, people are going to look at them and say, what are you doing here?
No,
And they're
but-
going to have to come up with an
wait a minute.
explanation.
Oh, okay, you guys are so intelligent. I mean, 3-1, I don't mind getting beat up a little. How many people were prosecuted for voting illegally in the last decade?
In my
Here in New
town-
Hampshire?
I can
And-
tell you,
and-
in my
and-
town,
Hampshire.
one that I know of.
Okay, one. Go ahead, your town?
You know who Ed Nail is?
Huh?
Ed Nail, CNHT, the Citizens, New Hampshire Taxpayer Citizens
Okay.
Coalition. He did a whole thing on voter fraud.
Well,
and
how much
you
did you,
call it.
how many?
He's got
He's
quite a
there.
few.
A lot
That's
of
one.
people have
Quite a
come.
few.
A lot
many
of
in your
these-
town?
A lot of these.
You're,
have
you're
come
trying
back.
to tell me that the
How many in the
Democrats,
state?
Attorney
No one will
Generals haven't
prosecute them.
prosecuted?
10 people in
They won't.
10 years And then we need what? And it's interesting how it just doesn't start here. It starts all across the country, voter ID.
You know where
As
you
if-
know where it
as if
started.
they-
You know where it
10
started.
people is 10 too many under our Constitution.
Yes.
God,
10 people are 10 too many.
That's right.
Out of our Constitution.
Ken, you know where
what
you know
that
where it
is.
started. It was- it
Yes,
start-
but
it
when you get
started after the
10,000 who can't vote because of it, that's too many.
It started after the Florida election with George Bush and Al Gore. There was a commission, and the commission was headed by James Baker and Jimmy Carter. And the commission had a number of recommendations. Jimmy Carter, the most leftist president that we've had, with the exception of Obama, recommended photo ID. He recommended photo ID. Then suddenly it dawned on all you people, wait a minute, how are we going to have all these illegal voters if they have to show up with IDs? And then the Democrat Party went in opposition. It was understood just to be an integrity issue.
No.
It's not to keep young people, old people, racial minorities, or anything. It's just to know your voter.
Why-
You know who's cashing a check. You know who's getting on a train,
Who's buying
plane, who's
cigarettes.
going into office building. You have to
Get
show
a
an
cigarette.
ID to buy cigarettes if you look young, to buy liquor. But the most important civic act that most of us will perform, you're saying you can't require them to show a photo ID, even if you give it to them for free.
Sound really good, and you guys
Oh,
all
thank
are
you.
professional. But you want to use Florida as an example. That's a poor example, because there's more suits in Florida for people who tried to vote and couldn't vote, no matter what they had. There's more lawsuits, or were lawsuits taking place. So you're using Florida as not a good example.
Was it Florida?
It's an
Florida is
excellent
not
example.
known for
Was it,
being
It's
a
an
didn't
good
have the Black
example.
Panthers at different polls in Florida? There's suits
there's
and stuff going on?
Philadelphia, yeah,
Philadelphia
there
and
was-
other areas? Yeah, you're right, there are suits going
Yeah.
on.
There are.
Yeah.
You know,
On-
once
on
again,
being intimidation at the polls. You're damn right there's suits going on.
By Republicans.
No, by different groups.
Oh, I got
Different
a
groups
little
out
news
there.
for you. You want to go Republicans and Democrats being harassed at the polls? I got a couple stories
Ken,
of
here's what's-
recently we can talk about.
What's going to happen here if we don't do something about integrity of the votes in New Hampshire? And I say this across party lines. It's going to get so ugly here, because you know what? If you all are going to do it, I bet you the people on the other side, my family can come in and I'll domicile at my house on November 1st. And hear me out on this. Maybe this is what it's going to take. It's going to happen so that the vote in New Hampshire, when you have the vice president's daughter voting in New Hampshire, the national parties are going to see that. They're going to realize there's absolutely no integrity in New Hampshire's polling, voting. Yeah, she was registered to vote in
Nice,
Nice.
actually,
I'm
Nice.
sorry.
She
Nice. I
she
stand
lives
corrected.
in
Yeah,
wherever,
Manchester.
whoever wants
Well,
to
no,
claim
yeah, that's
Biden.
right.
And what state claims that guy? Is it Delaware?
But hear me out on this. So both national parties, Republican and Democrat, are going to say, you know what, having the first in the nation presidential primary, it's not worth it, because we don't really know if that's a good indicator. We are going to lose the primary.
The point that Representative Tucker makes is a valuable point, which is essentially these things can be used by both parties. For example, yesterday when we were in the House of Representatives, and Speaker Norelli made a clearly erroneous ruling in order to suppress the minority.
Suppress who?
It suppressed me from making a
And what-
motion.
and what was it?
And there was two rulings that she made that were clearly wrong, and I think everyone, the House clerk was acknowledging it afterwards. Everyone was. She said that we couldn't
She was
divide
wrong.
the question, which is a way of dividing a bill up into discrete parts to vote on. And then she said we couldn't ask a committee to yield for a question. Clearly wrong. I understand
And you
the
voted, you
majority.
supported it.
The majority had a goal, and they wanted to move it towards the goal. And we see it happening in Congress, where there's been a tradition of respecting minority rights in the Senate by requiring that for important votes, you have to get a 60-vote majority to stop debate. Understand, it's just to stop debate. Now, a bare majority can just stop debate. So when you turn to these devices, which is, bring in all of these non-New Hampshire voters, or suppress the minority in the New Hampshire House of Representatives, or suppress the minority in the Congress, in Senate, at some point, there's no permanent majorities. There's no permanent political situation.
Okay, you just
and it's
just
going to
went-
be used against you, and
you
it's
just
bad
went
for our
through-
democracy.
speaker was a
wait,
bully yesterday.
You guys, you just went through 3 different subjects. Let's bring you back to what happened yesterday with you.
No, but
What
reach,
you
reach,
did
reach,
yesterday
reach the
Was
point.
parliamentary.
incorrect.
Which
Was
reached the-
parliamentary.
Was
Yes, it was.
incorrect.
No, reach the
Absolutely
point here. What, whether you, I know you're signed up towards a certain view, but I think it's generally acknowledged, as she eventually reversed a ruling, that we had a right to move to divide the question.
And then she
And then-
interrupted us many times.
And then she was interrupted. So, again, you have a majority. I understand how the rules work in the New Hampshire legislature, that if you have a majority, the speaker can rule anything, and all you can do is challenge it, and it takes 1 plus a half to sustain a ruling, and you can run a roughshod over the minority,
know,
and that's what you did.
You know,
Okay, we
you know,
understand,
you guys,
but
I still have to remind you that you were the majority party.
Can you not reach
all
the-
the things that you're saying now, you had said before in many, many different ways, and you guys are now the minority.
I have to disagree
But did
with you.
we have a special session so we could change the
That's right, so
rules
we
now?
did, that's right. No, we
Because we
didn't.
refused to live by the rules of the House.
You did it in 2009, I think 2010.
You've had 2 terms
done
in a
it.
row
That's
that you've
right.
abused the minority
Special
by starting a
sessions.
special session.
Abuse the minority?
That's what a special session's all
297 to
about.
103, you guys
Medicaid
murdered us.
expansion
That's
went
what
through
you're
no
all
second
about.
committees.
Not through parliamentary rules, we did not.
Do you know Medicaid expansion
one's
didn't
mine.
go through the policy committee? It didn't go, and you just passed it through. It didn't go to appropriation, the money, nothing. You guys pushed this through in the House, okay, and it was unsaid, it was disrespect.
How many
to the
meetings did they
people of
have
New
this
Hampshire.
summer on this?
No, they had.
Was this all summer long
That was
that they
a
worked
special
this?
committee, but
Didn't you guys already know what was going to
ED&A
take place?
wasn't involved. Was anyone from Commerce involved?
And no one ever brought up in the bill that we were going to have a state healthcare exchange.
Right.
And
You
that wasn't
threw
part
that
of
in
any
there.
of it. That was just sort of slipped in.
Your speaker shut
That
me
was
Or
a-
down
elimination
because I
of the
was at-
oversight committee,
A
that's not
state
part of it.
health- Now,
Well, whether it's a good idea or not, it was an abusive
that's
Your
such a-
speaker was very bullish yesterday. She was a bully there. She shut me down when I tried to bring up about the state exchange, that the governor did not authorize that in her special session. And she gavelled me, she kept, and then, didn't I turn back and say, why you interrupted me? She didn't like me telling the facts.
I don't think that was it. I think that, I'll tell you what, everybody
Can you tell
can
me
turn
what I
around.
did wrong?
You can go to nh.gov and you can find, go to the archives and you can find exactly what happens. I believe there is sound, at least, they can hear what took
Can you
place.
tell me what I did wrong? You were sitting there when she gavelled me. Tell me what I did wrong.
I don't know.
Okay, there you go. And
It-
But you voted,
no,
can you say what he
but
did wrong?
No, but the fact is, what took place was legal, not illegal.
No.
Yes.
You broke, the
You
the
had a
bottom line,
speaker.
you
In
know
In
what,
fact,
you're
a
right.
parliamentary individual
You went
who
against
was-
these rules,
who was
special
a
session
Republican,
rules.
said what?
Pardon me?
The parliamentary genius of the House said what?
Who's that?
Who's that, Karen?
No,
The
Karen.
clerk?
The clerk?
She
The
corrected
you know
the
what
speaker.
you know what the clerk said? They're not listening to me, Bill. That's what they said.
Oh,
And she said it to others.
that's awful.
Hey, did you go by your talking points yesterday, your little white sheet that they pass out, the Democrats, and said, don't compromise, or well, better yet, don't vote on any amendments of the Republicans? Did you
We didn't
comply
send
with
one of
that?
those out, we gotta do that
Wait a minute,
now.
Excuse me, I do a show with William O'Brien.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Once I started that, Democrats aren't talking to me anymore.
Hey, let me
does
ask
this
you
on
something.
my
Yes,
own.
and he's here
let me ask you
defending the
something.
Speaker of the
I
House.
know, I know. He probably
kinda-
doesn't
Can
get
you
that.
answer me honestly?
Yeah,
Did you yesterday comply with your Democrats' talking points that don't support the amendments? Did you comply with that? Don't compromise with the Republicans.
The same with you guys.
You're not answering me.
In 2000, yes, I felt that everything that you guys were trying to do is just to hinder what the obvious was going to be because you
you
are
wanna-
the minority.
You want to go on the hinder?
You are the majority. We are. They're the minority. They lost.
Do you know what the
And
hinder
are
was?
you mad? You're
You know what
mad.
the hinder was? To stop
Actually,
getting
we
wealthy
went.
people.
Ken, the bill didn't become law. That's
Right,
called winning.
just lost.
Oh, no, wait a minute. How didn't it become law?
Well, now you want to
Senate
get
killed
into
it.
how we won.
No, no,
But
no,
just
no, no.
acknowledge we
How
won.
you won is that it went to the Senate and it was
How
what,
we
11
won,
to
how we
what?
won was
13 or
position it
11,
that this
10.
would go
13 and
on
10?
Oh,
forever.
no, 13 or 11, I think.
So what these people did after we passed, the 400 of us against what, 24? All right, what these people did is they really didn't listen to the majority of the people in the state of New Hampshire, especially the elected officials.
Ken,
because
7%.
the Democrats are the majority.
Again,
7%.
7%'s not a majority. 7% think that Obamacare is a good law that doesn't need to be
Yeah,
changed.
hey,
That's
what are
not a
you drinking?
majority.
It's, I don't know, I want some of yours. You see, they can, and this is how they work, this is how the Republicans
It's these-
work, is they keep saying the same thing, if it's true or not true, and in this case, it's half true. So you guys keep saying this, so people out there believe it. Only
Ken,
7% do what?
I've noticed that half true to you means it's true, but I don't want to believe it.
Right.
All right, 7%. Now, explain what the 7% is, because I want everyone out here, our
That's the
our
national
watchers.
polls.
Yeah, Gallup took a
Yeah,
poll,
that's
and they asked
national.
the question of people, are you fully satisfied with Obamacare and don't think it needs to be changed?
Everybody agrees it needs to be
93%
changed.
said they're not satisfied with it and want it to be changed. 7% said it's where did these 7% come from? I don't even think if you ask Barack Obama, it shouldn't be changed.
Everybody
He's like in the
agrees it
90s.
should be changed. It has to be tweaked. Of course it does. What's the big deal?
Tweaked?
But what
Then
you
why did you pass it if it
what
was
you
that
guys
hard?
want to do is completely eliminate it, start all over again instead of taking what there is and try to better it. That's where you guys are making the mistake.
Ken.
We don't
Ken.
want to start
We
over.
do
If it's a
care.
mess now, what
Ken.
is it going to be when
Ken.
they start changing
We
it?
went
wasn't
in
a mess
yesterday,
before.
we went in yesterday, Republicans, to a kangaroo court.
That's not
that
fair.
was
You have
set-
facts on your side.
Yeah, hey, here's a
But
copy.
Ken, you're not going to believe them anyway. Ken, you're not going to believe them
Here
anyway,
is
so
a
they're kind of
copy
half
of the
facts.
Democrats' talking points. Please vote no on any other amendments. The other amendments were, please don't fine our New Hampshire residents. Please don't set up a national, or a state, what do you call it, exchange.
Well, you guys
Please-
voted it
Please,
done. You made it
please
illegal.
protect the veterans.
Right, please protect the veterans. Another amendment, please don't let millionaires or somebody that gets, no money, but they got a lot of money in the bank have Medicaid. Please, if you own a home and you don't get
Please,
Stop it.
please
You
know,
keep
guys
it
did
over
Here, look,
subcommittee.
That
get the
was our
shovel, for
amendment.
God's sake. Say, come on, you guys.
Don't believe me.
Yes.
Go to the state
Don't believe,
page and
that's
look at
right,
the
don't
amendments.
believe him.
Go
They
read
got
them
word
all.
for it.
Go read the
them all.
amendments
Shoot
and look
signs on the way
look
out.
what we try to stop you guys to do
Yeah.
from doing.
There has to be fairness and accountability
Come on,
for
Ken,
everyone.
wake up and
because
smell
we
the
do-
coffee.
And yes, we do
Excuse
care
me, we
about
went
everyone.
through the fairness for 2 years, and look what you guys did. You wrecked the state of New Hampshire,
No.
so
What
much
got
so
wrecked?
that you
What
guys
got
thought
wrecked?
That
we did
was
such
sleeping
a
under
good job.
bridges.
Didn't we
They
go through this
voted
before?
them out, and they voted us
No,
in.
but they
Ken,
kept the
Ken,
Republicans
Ken.
in there as a safety zone in the Senate.
Ken, did
Stop
you
it.
guys,
You're a safety zone.
Did
The
you guys go
Republicans in the
commit
Senate.
political
Yeah, these are
suicide
safety
when you only got
zones.
103 reps? I mean, we have 176 representatives. We just barely missed in terms of percentage getting a majority. You guys were down to 103 reps. Did you say, oh, I don't know what, we all ought to become Republicans because we lost so bad?
We didn't do that. We didn't go on TV and say that about you guys.
Yeah, we didn't say, oh,
Yeah.
stop talking. You only have
Right, we-
103.
But you wouldn't let me talk,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
No, you had every opportunity to go to
opportunity.
the well.
Yeah.
Some people have the guts to go to the well, some don't.
And
I
we
don't-
never change the rules
Excuse
to
me.
try and bully you.
And what
Never-
Representative Baldasaro was saying is that I'm shy.
Hey, you notice I came here dressed like you today? I didn't even shave, and I wore.
You never
We got the
shave.
same coat. We're looking. are we
You
looking-
shave, this guy shaves 4 hours later, it looks like he hasn't shaved.
Are we looking
You
like?
could be Santa Claus
We're
in a
looking
week.
like two Democrats today, huh?
No,
Both
no,
of us.
no. He's
Two
got,
Republicans?
Yeah, or two Republicans.
he's got a zipper, I got buttons, there's a difference.
Well, I have to admit to the people in Nashua, I do work on them all the time to get them right, but.
Well, I have something I have to confess to
Uh-oh.
Representative Gidge, and the
Wait,
confession
wait.
is just this.
Can- wait,
You
let me
know,
write it down.
the three that, we brought three on, just not to debate you, but to convert you.
You're right.
And so, and so that's why I told Representative Baldasaro, I said, dress like the guy, why don't you try it
Right.
out? It might work.
That's what he told me. He said maybe it is home farm. So normally I'm in a suit and tie, but today I just, I figured let me go grubby,
I'm slumming it.
Yeah.
Like me. I'm slumming it too.
Hey, you
I
kept a
figured,
badge
I
on.
was a Democrat for many years, so let me go.
You were?
Yeah.
Well,
The only
well-
difference is I shower now, but go ahead.
This is exactly what we go through. We shower. Democrats don't
That's a little
shower.
humor towards Ken there
I
because I
know,
sit
I know.
behind him.
And let's talk about that. This year, we are the majority, and I
Wait,
believe
in the House. In the House, not the
Yeah,
Senate.
in the House, and I believe you wanted to do it last term and it wasn't done. This term, it's Republicans and Democrats all spread out, not all completely together.
come they're complaining?
You're right behind me.
Right.
I've got Republicans in front of me,
How come
and
some of the Democrats are whining to their speaker about the Republicans are talking bad, they're picking on me.
well, you
How
go,
come?
well, shut up. You guys are talking all the
You know,
time.
They're
with it.
picking on me. You have a new rep up there. Boy, she gave me a look yesterday, and I thought I was gonna die.
Who?
The rep that sits to the left there. She-
Representative
Mangiapane?
Mangiapane, yeah.
Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
made a comment, I said, wow, she don't vote until she looks and see what everyone else is voting.
That's awful.
But I mean, it's
There
true.
is a,
It's true.
well, everybody looks at everybody
No,
to see what
but-
everybody
no,
is
but she
doing.
didn't- She wouldn't even vote until the
It's
last
her
second.
first day,
But
for
she's a
God's
national, but if you're
sakes.
running for state rep, you're going to
where-
vote
and
for
where
the
do they-
benefit of
and where do-
people.
and where
You
do-
gotta know the issues.
And by the way, where do they put her?
Right next to you.
Right next to me.
Boy, is she in trouble.
So what do
And
you
they
think
put
about it?
you behind us.
What do you think about the mixed seating? Because like you said,
I
2 years
have-
ago,
I-
we wanted to do it, but the minority requested we didn't, and we honored the minority's
That's right.
request not to
Well, I
split
think
them up.
297 to 103, I think it was proper to not mix it. It was just a little too
Why, we
much.
could have done 2 Republicans. one
No, I know,
Democrat.
I know.
Big.
I was
We
in a
wouldn't have done
committee,
that.
all
Okay, where was it?
committees.
Between 176 and 103, where does it become proper and
Yeah,
improper?
No,
Ken, I think,
we-
I think you just
Do you
wing on
guys,
these
do you guys
arguments.
think it, do you feel comfortable with it that way?
What's that?
You're sitting next to a,
Actually, you know, I mean, it's not bad, but we can't talk amongst our strategies and other stuff there. It was a way for the Democrats to silence us. He was willing to give it a shot.
silence you?
Because of, we have to get up and spend more time in the back so we can talk about which way to go on certain bills. Every time you want to tax and, a fee or something, we've got to come together on how to stop it.
You know,
It's just as Speaker Norelli said when we asked her last term, would you like the mixed seating? It's been done in the past. And she said, please, we're in the minority. Don't do that to us.
no, it
Oh.
was 103 to
No,
297.
she didn't say,
You-
oh, we're
you-
103,
No, she
and
never said
it'd be
anything
okay
like
for
that.
120
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
well, you were
Can
flying
you
on the wall.
imagine being surrounded completely by Republicans?
and
That's not,
she-
that's
No,
not,
and
that's
that's-
not
She
fair.
didn't say that.
and
That
that-
wasn't her
that wouldn't
argument.
happen.
She just
But
said,
Put
she
in
said,
this
you
piece,
don't
sucker.
do
You
that.
guys can't, are you telling me you can't figure out what you're gonna do unless
No,
you have to go
be-
talk to other
because
people
there's
like
certain
somebody?
things. You got Representative Dan Eaton, that anything, the way the wind's blowing, anything comes out of his mouth, I've got to go on my phone and check, well, he lied again. Well, he lied again.
Oh, my
Then the
God.
speaker, twice, I had to go to the Mason's manual and look, she was wrong, but yet you all voted to support and fell in like, it's like somebody committing murder.
Okay.
Oh, you were there, but, oh, no, I didn't see it.
So the question was, do you enjoy or do you think it's good for people to be sort of separated and everyone put in together? Do you
mean,
find that?
It
you
is
know-
a partisan house.
I-
You've
no,
got to admit,
but-
politics is partisan. The
know-
idea of mixing up the
But
seat was
do
that
you
we're.
feel, do
Can
you
I-
like it?
I don't like it.
Are you getting to
I
don't
know?
think it
You're getting to
accomplished-
know me?
No,
No, I mean,
but
I-
still.
That could be the
It didn't
reason why you
accomplish
don't
what
like
she
it.
wanted
I
to
sus- I
accomplish.
suspect Representative Tucker's like the most reasonable person here at this point, so I'm
Oh,
going to
my
listen
God.
to her.
Now, I have to admit, some of the Democrats that sit in front of me, after, it had paid off sometimes, because after me tell them the real facts and show them the facts, and not just listen to your Democrat speakers that lie to them.
Yes,
Oh, wait,
sir.
let me rephrase that, they don't lie.
Wait,
They
but
stretch the
before we go,
truth.
I'd really like to hear from Representative Tucker
No,
whether
no, hold
she-
on a second, but let me just let
ahead.
everybody know this. These are the people who are in the minority, who are in the majority, and the reason why is because they kept doing what they're doing right now.
Had
Oh.
nothing to
And
do with
so
topping
they
the
voted
ticket
out.
tidal
Oh,
wave.
wait a minute, was it
Nothing
because
to
of
do with
Obama?
that.
No,
That they-
it had nothing to do with all the people that come in out of state, or all these
know.
college
Oh, my
kids
God.
that have their hand out, a lot of
Oh,
them
my
there, that have the
God.
hand out,
Here
that
we
want
go.
everything free. Because Obama promised them they'd pay the mortgage.
Do you-
He promised them food stamps.
Hold on a second. There is no loser. There is first and there is second. Those who continue to complain about it become the losing party. You're not a
But
loser.
we're not the losing party.
Don't
The
do that.
Republicans, we still run the
Be
Senate.
even with this
We still run the Senate.
by 3.
I'll run with that, but you're the one who brought it up that we lost, so we have a right to speak to
That's
that.
Oh, absolutely.
But the issue in the House, in
Absolutely.
terms of the mixed seating, the goal was that we would all get along, it would be more bipartisan by mixing the seating. I don't think that has happened at all. I think when your direction is coming from someone who is so bitterly partisan, no matter how you slice, dice, and mix it up, no matter how you put those people out there, and you're giving direction that do not vote for any one of those amendments, do not think for yourself.
I will.
That is not going to change, and they will continue to vote exactly one way and not listen to the other person. And yes, I've been called
I'll
names sitting in my
tell
seat.
you what, I will bet you $100 to your charity or
don't bet.
to my favorite charity that Democrats have voted more for Republican issues in this, well, I'd say in the last year, okay, than Republicans voting for Democratic issues. You want to bet?
I would take issue with that if you look in terms of the
Yeah.
Liberty vote out on, and there was a
Right.
stat put out on the internet about Liberty votes,
I
just
should have brought
Liberty
in the
votes.
voting
Liberty?
record. Yeah, the
Liberty votes for about
Right.
freedom and liberty, kind of that Constitution
government out of
thing
your
that kind of
house.
protects ours.
Liberty?
Yes, it was, I
I
think,
know it's a strange concept,
Yeah.
Ken, but bear
New
with us on
Hampshire,
this.
US. I'll
in
put 'em here.
terms of the spread, if you look at the matrix of where Republicans voted, the matrix was very spread
Big
out.
word, matrix. I like
Sorry.
matrix.
Or a grid, all right, grid, little
Okay.
lines,
Little
and
lines.
Republicans,
Little lines.
Don't
little lines
confuse
right here. And the Republicans were very, very mixed in terms of how liberty and how freedom oriented they were. Seriously, it was a very, very broad spectrum. When you got
Really?
yes, and when you got to the Democrats, who were registered Democrats, it was a little dark.
Okay.
It was much- it was
And
much more
of course,
condensed.
anybody can do statistics like that, correct?
I agree.
Obviously, there is.
this-
Mr. O'Brien,
this
help me
another-
out on this.
Is this another, well, I am. I'm going to help you out by identifying another half-truth. Factually correct, but just not believable.
You know, Bill,
Let me finish the water
I
before
brought
you.
something along here just to show him something on the Republican way. You know, is pretty much do something. If you're ahead of me, lead. If you're behind me, follow. If you're not going to do anything, get the hell out of the way. 2014, remember that. Get out of the way. Okay?
You know, wear it on your head, please.
Remember that.
Let's make a little
Remember
hat of it.
that,
Give it
okay?
to me. No,
Remember that.
Tattoo it before they outlaw
crybabies.
tattoos.
Republican crybabies. I thought there was going to be some sort of a good debate. So what do you say? You're saying Democrats are not what? Don't believe
no,
in
what
freedom,
we're-
don't believe in
you don't.
liberty?
You
How can,
want-
how can you,
And
you
what
put
did you
something, do
guys
not vote
do?
for every one of those amendments? How can you put that out there? And can't you let the people think for themselves? A Republican,
for
a
themselves.
Republican
Okay.
sheet has never put out,
They
do
have
not vote.
thought for themselves,
Okay.
and
Do
you guys
not
are the
vote for
minority.
Let's go to
anyone else's
facts. Let's go to
amendment.
facts, okay? No BS. Article 2A, the bearing of arms. All persons have the right to keep and bear arms in defense of themselves, their families, their property, and estate. Why would you want to repeal it and tell people you can't protect yourself? Why would you want to do that if you're for freedom?
Excuse me, where are you?
Democrat, you filed the bill. Help me out here.
Excuse me.
They filed the bill.
Hold on a second.
Take
Hold on a
away
second.
rights.
No, that's not factual. Don't say that.
That's not
Because I'll bet you
factual?
there's as many Democrats as Republicans who own guns
That's
and
not
have
factual.
licensed guns.
Well, I think
You
that's
didn't try
probably
to
not
take
true,
away
Ken.
the right to, you want them to
wouldn't agree with
retreat? You want them to
No.
retreat?
You can't,
wherever they have the
you
right
know,
to
one
be?
of the things you
Wait,
have
wait,
to.
wait a minute. Now we're getting into the guns issue.
did
You
that
know,
bill-
Ken, let
Oh,
me just
boy.
say
The
this.
guy who shoots the signs all
Ken,
the
if,
way
you,
home.
if you're going to come up with
Wild
these
Willie.
statements, if you're going to come up with these statements that are wild,
Did
make
that-
sure it's inside
That's
baseball
right.
because most people realize that Democrats are anti-gun.
Did that
They do.
bill
They know
say
that.
to
So
retreat?
you know, we don't have
How
to.
do you talk about us following sort of, or following the leader and not doing what you say, you got to lead, follow, get out of the way. I understand that. But now you are taking it right out of the playbook of the Rifles Associations.
No.
That the Democrats
that's
a-
are the individuals.
When did
No,
the
the
Constitution?
Constitution
When did the
become the
Constitution become a
playbook.
playbook? I know you. I know you Democrats think it's
I'm
an
just
old
saying,
ancient
You're
document.
saying the
but-
Democrats do not believe in
Can I
liberty.
bring up the voting record
No.
on that
No.
bill? Can I bring up your voting record on that bill?
Too many facts.
Thank God for the technology.
No.
Thank God for the technology. Did that
I
bill,
thought I was
please
going
answer
to
me
get
the
3
truth.
people who are not going
Can
to.
you please answer me the truth? Did that bill say you have to retreat? And
touch me again, I'll stab you with my pen.
Yeah, only at your home are you protected.
Lethal weapon, you can't
Not
carry
wherever
that.
you have
If
the
that's
right
you
to
bearing
be.
arms, okay, Ken.
I come with facts.
You come with facts. Oh my God, you guys. Look,
You know, if in the Republican caucus, there was ever a document circulated around instructing us, without even knowing what a bill is, an amendment is, to vote against it, people would be offended. But I guess it's just, it was the order of yesterday for the Democrat Party.
I know, but let's get it straight.
We
so
would be
everybody
offended.
understands. Overall, the reason why we as Democrats believe that 50,000 plus people who do not have insurance in the state,
they have it.
who do not have insurance in the state of New Hampshire, 60% of them are women, and you Republicans are having a
So
hard
you
time
say
with
there's a
women.
war on women, we don't care?
You individuals
First
do
of all, we're not having,
want
that's an
Yeah.
insult that we're
the
having
eight-
from.
That is an insult.
I'm
800,000.
married to a woman, which I guess I have to say these days. And in addition, I have 2 adult daughters who I want to be people who are fully participant in this
Right.
society. And to say
Right.
we're having
I have
trouble
3
with
daughters.
women
No,
is offensive
and
to me.
And that's
It's
not,
offensive to
and
me.
that's not fair to call it offensive, because I have women in my family also.
But-
61% of them are women who are not having any insurance. If that's true, that's a fact. I can bring that up and I can show you guys.
There's-
And you guys don't want to help in any way?
First of
That's-
all,
that's
the
not true.
50,000,
That's not
33 of
true.
them, 1,000 have private insurance now. And the others have
22.
availability to medical care. What you guys
So
want
we
is
don't need
another
anything
big
here.
government program. You want to socialize as much
Oh, wait a minute.
of our society as possible.
we
and
want
taking
everyone in
1/6 of
the
the economy
United
and doing it
we
is
want-
the way you're proceeding.
We want everyone in the United States to have insurance, and I believe even in the military, people believe that if people don't have insurance, what's going to inspire them to think that our country is so great and go fight in wars if they're being bankrupt because they
there's a
don't have
big
insurance?
difference.
You
Yeah.
know what?
but it's called-
Most of us approach this country not based upon what it gives to us.
That's right.
We believe exactly what John Kennedy said. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I fight for this country. I care about this country. I love this country because it cares about liberty and freedom.
That's right.
And it has principles that go beyond a give me society. I don't need government to give me something in order to love this
The
country.
difference between you and I want liberty for everyone, not the people
you
who
wanna
have
take
Cadillac
liberty
Escalades, not the
isn't a-
people
But
who
you
have
wanna
the
take
Mercedes,
Liberty
not the
isn't-
people who has the
Liberty is not
Lincoln.
defined-
But you want
Excuse me.
Liberty is not defined by freebies from the government.
It's not freebies.
But you
there are
wanna
people
take
who
away my
absolutely
car.
need assistance.
You want to take
you
away
wanna
my
help
car
those.
and give me a smaller car so I can take what money I have and issue it out so it knocks my quality, my family's quality of life down.
Well, I got an idea. This has been really interesting. Let us calm down, all right, and agree. I think Bill and I do this at least once a week for a couple minutes because we only have about 3 more minutes. And that is, hey, don't
And
you
I
wish
still
there were
love
more
you.
shows like this?
Well, I
without a doubt.
tell you one
do.
thing, and we discussed it before we started today. I can't be here next week, and so this is a great discussion. It may
Yes.
even become better without me. And so I'm not going to be here
You'll be
next
missed.
week. I know Representative Baldasaro is certainly going to be here.
And
I'll try
I've
to-
asked Pam Tucker.
Yes, it
representative
is
to be
Black
here.
Friday, which is a big shopping day for us.
Oh, God.
And
My kids.
they may show up with some more half-truths, Ken.
Yeah, right.
But you can deal with that.
But don't you think there should be more shows like this?
Oh, without a doubt, I think
agree.
Democrats should, come on.
I would love to see more bipartisan
Right.
discussion here versus just don't vote for that type discussion.
And what's fun about this is, you know, certainly I think Ken and I over time have developed a real affection for each other, and you can have that without, and not agree on anything, as it turns out.
Well, I'm signed on to one of your bills.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I
That's right.
mean,
Do you know what I like about coming on with Ken? Unlike your speaker who tries to stifle freedom of speech, we can discuss
Suppression.
back and forth. You know what I mean? We can open up freedom of speech. Whether we agree or disagree, I honestly believe the people in Nashua are smart enough and will go and look in the newspaper and see the 22,000 people that are losing their insurance as part of that 58,000.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying, because I don't feel bullied here.
Right, I don't feel bullied either. So I think it's great.
Well, as I say, ladies and gentlemen, it takes, they got to bring in 3 to 1, and, I was pretty easy on them today, but we have
You
a
did
couple
well.
more minutes.
Hey,
Pam,
let me hide your guidebooks.
Yeah, okay, thank
Yeah, let me your guidebooks.
and I think I'm joking, he drives home and shoots that side. He really does, honestly.
Two-fisted, by the way.
I'm able to shoot in my yard, by the way. I can do that. Okay? I have a big open area.
I'm sure you do. All right, stop. Pam,
Yes,
Why
sir.
don't
do you
you
have
work
a,
with me?
I'm not one of yours. I don't have a gun. Pam,
Yes,
do you have a website? Do you have an email address?
Email, very easy. Pam, P-A-M, Z as in zebra, T as in Tucker, @comcast.net.
I have a website, Baldasaro.com. That's Baldasaro for people like you that can't spell.
Mr. O'Brien?
No website. I'm on Facebook. Certainly anyone can call me. Telephone number 603-620-8710. And come up to the State House, and I'll be hanging around with these people.
Yes, you will. And by the way, I'd like you to note there's no Democrats here. We have invited Democrats. I am a Democrat, and Democrats don't seem to want to be on. We have made an effort to get Democrats. These are the
have not-
Republicans. These are the people I know. One is in my committee. The other one sits behind me. I've known the speaker for a while. We've argued before we've had it.
And you got me interested. You said there were no Democrats here, and I was think to myself, mission accomplished.
That's
But-
right. Do you remember the speaker
No, there's
gaveled
no
me when I said
Besides
transparency?
me. See, this is what I got to go for.
Didn't your speaker gavel me when I said transparency?
Oh, God. Okay, we're ending the show. Listen,
Thanks.
thank you
you.
very much.
Ken, it's an
Thanks,
honor.
Ken.
as always.
Say,
Yep.
okay,
Hey,
kid.
thanks so much.
Yeah,
Bill?
thanks. Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Next week.